Pine decides to reconnect with her college friends, inviting them over for a casual get together during summer vacation. Little does she know that within the group hides a dark presence. Alex, one of her friends, has some dark obsession with wine. As the evening unfolds, Vine's friends arrive at the dinner she arranged for them. Laughter and memories fill the room. Her friends wanted to meet her husband for a long time. That's why she decided to finally call them over. So why is he still not coming? The one you can't stop thinking about while you are with us. One of her friends spoke in an excited voice. Vine blushed as she said, "He must be busy with his work. I told him to come home early, so he will, surely," she said quietly. They saw the blush in her face and they started whispering to each other. They were happy for her. One of them came to sit with her so close. She put a hand on her neck and asked, "So, is he really such handsome that is seen in the pictures? Can I ask him for his number if you don't mind?" she said in a playful gleam. Vine looked at her immediately and hit her head for once. Everyone started laughing. "Vine, don't even dare to think about it. You hear me?" Vine glared at her while saying. She got up from there and went to her place. As they were talking and enjoying, Jungkook with his loud sounds of shoes arrived at the dining. She sees him and runs to him immediately. He hugs her while smiling and they kiss each other. The girls sitting over watch them with their mouths and eyes wide open. They all were drooling over Jungkook, while knowing he's married except her two male friends sitting across. He sits over on one of the chairs, and all the girls kept staring at him. He smiled at each other. He smiled at each one of them, greeted them, but it was kind of creepy how they looked at him all together. Vine looked at them and pinched the thigh of the one sitting beside her. "Vine, I told you not to dare think about it." He looked at her and smiled proudly. One of them, named Alex, kept staring Jungkook in a weird way as if he would eat Jungkook or something. His gaze was different. Jungkook looked back at him, but he looked away. Jungkook shrugged it off and enjoyed the dinner. Vine never doubted any of her friends. They were all loyal to her. She had always had a lot of friends. She loves to make them and stays loyal. Unbeknownst to Vine, Jungkook, her formidable Mafia husband, observes the gathering with a watchful eye. The air becomes charged with an unspoken tension as Jungkook senses something amiss. There was something off about Alex, and Jungkook knew it. The way he was staring at Jungkook and then at Vine. It was creepy. He wasn't eating, nor talking to anyone, just staring. Jungkook had an idea and spoke in a loud voice. "Okay, so I don't even know all of your names. Mind introducing me, you all?" Everyone was happy hearing that, and as they already wanted to introduce themselves in front of him, they all did one by one. "I'm Alex." He spoke in a quiet voice, looking downwards, not feeling comfortable at all. He started biting his nails. Jungkook observed every bit of it. "Fine. Let's eat now. I can't control my hunger anymore. Please." After the dinner and more funny chit chats, the friends were busy talking to each other, while Vine and Jungkook looked at each other. Jungkook wrapped his hand around her waist and pulled her closer. He kissed her again. "So, are you happy after finally calling your friends over?" Vine. "I'm more than happy. So happy that I can't explain. Thanks for coming earlier. I love you." They looked in each other's eyes. As they were lost, Jungkook blinked, and looked at his surroundings, only to find a pair of eyes still staring at them. Alex was staring at them, gazing at them, in fact, while his nails in his mouth. As soon as Jungkook looked at him, he looked away. A line of tension etched across his face as he asked Van, "Who is this Alex?" Wine. Him? Just another friend of mine. And he's very helpful and kind. He helped me a lot of times, and I'm grateful to him. She looked at Jungkook. His eyes looked suspicious. Wine. Why? Are you by any chance jealous? She asked, her eyes a playful gleam. Jungkook, can you give me his number or anything else you know about him? Wait, I'll talk to him myself. Jungkook was about to get up. His attention towards Alex comes back immediately when Vine stopped him and said, "Why are you doing this? You know he's just a friend, right?" She said, looking in his eyes. Jungkook looked in her eyes back and softened up his voice. "I know. I'm not doubting you at all. I just want to. I don't know. Let's leave it." As they all got up to leave, Jungkook and Vine stood up with them and walked together to leave them off. They went outside without knowing that one of them stayed behind, Alex. Jungkook noticed it. All of them went outside, but Jungkook came inside again and peeked through the wall. What he saw was outrageous for him. Alex, who was half shivering and in almost anger, was bent down under the table, collecting some pictures and putting them in his bag. Jungkook looked at the pictures, and they had her wife in it. His eyes widened. He went to Alex in an instant. "Jungkook, I knew something was off," he said as he held the back of Alex's shirt and pulled him upwards. Jungkook punched him before he could know what was happening. "Jungkook, what the hell are you doing?" His voice echoed, his gaze piercing. Alex was shocked as he saw Jungkook in front of himself. Jungkook took Alex's bag and poured it empty. He saw countless pictures of Vian's back, Vian's legs, her back, and somehow of her private parts too. Jungkook doesn't know how, but he doesn't believe his eyes. At that moment, the rage pulsated in his veins. His fingers curled into fists. His eyes grew darker and darker as he dug holes in Alex's eyes. He was so dead today. Jungkook held his collar real tight. His hands were burning from the hotness because of anger. "Jungkook, how dare you have eyes on my wife? You are dead." Jungkook took him to the basement, being fully aware that Vian thinks everyone is gone, so she won't be suspicious anymore. His screams won't be heard outside the basement. "Alex," his shivering voice came out. "Where are you taking me? Leave me. Vian." Jungkook shut him off. After reaching the basement, Jungkook punched him and kept doing so until he laid half dead on the ground. Jungkook sat above him, and while choking his neck, he asked him, "How did you get photos of her? Answer me before you die." Jungkook asked with his deadly voice. "Alex, leave my neck and I'll answer you," he said while trying his best to get rid of his grip, but all in vain. Jungkook's hands were frozen at their place. "Jungkook, tell me and I'll leave it then." Alex was shaking by now. He tried his best to utter, "A camera in the washroom." He almost fainted when he said that. Jungkook left his neck and took a small knife from the drawer. He put off Alex's shirt and drew patterns on his stomach from the knife. Alex screamed in agony. He asked for forgiveness. He begged for his life, but Jungkook was raised to a point where he couldn't think what was wrong and right. He just did what his hands couldn't stop doing so. He tried to hurry it up, as he knew Vine would be finding him until now. He cleaned his blood. He cleaned the blood on his body, if there was any, and went upstairs. He tried to calm his anger down, but his pulse wouldn't slow down. He came outside and saw Vine in front of himself. He kept looking at her, his pulse getting slower, his heartbeat coming back to normal, and his fists loosened. Jungkook looked at her for a long time before running to her and hugged her. Vine was stunned, but then smiled and hugged him back. Vine, how was the party? Pretty sure you didn't enjoy it. She smiled again. Jungkook's eyes were red already. He tried not to cry. He broke the hug and smiled while looking at her. Jungkook, it's not that. I'm just too tired. Let's go to rest, he said, looking in her eyes while adoring her. Fine, as you wish, my husband, she said and gets amazed when Jungkook picks her up in his arms to take her inside. Jungkook looked at her and she looked back. Didn't you say you were tired? She asked with her mouth wide open. Jungkook, I'm never tired for this. He smiled. She pinched his arm and Jungkook pulled her closer to his embrace. She rested her head there and felt the warmth he provided, which she sensed was different from any other day. She held him tight and heard his heartbeat until they reached the bedroom after a long day.